up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry, let me get my clearing of the throat out of the way because you know it's going to happen again during the video today. All right, y'all. It's Wednesday. It's the hump day. It's the 21st of May. Ooh, that rhymes in every way. I was brainstorming again today about subject matter for the video and whatnot. And I was all over the place. And then I started thinking about stuff that's been kind of like rolling around my mind and has been for a while, especially since I've been on the YouTube journey. Um, it's it's a word I use a lot, and I feel like we're using the wrong word um, because it stands for I don't know. Let me put this down for you, day takers. What it do? Hope you're taking your day. I love you in every single way. Um, but I feel like we could work on this together. Whether you're a regular viewer of the channel or you just clicked on this thing, stick around for the next couple minutes, just a little bit. Maybe you can help us all figure this out. It's the word is discipline, and I use it a lot, like especially when it comes to my health and fitness, and body betterment, and trying to become a better human being and all that stuff. Because sometimes, especially for me, most times, motivation is not enough. So it's discipline. And I think somewhere in there, translation is lost. And I'll tell you why. Because I feel like especially as you go through school and, you're being parented by your parents and stuff, the word discipline is used as punishment. Like, you're going to be disciplined today, or go receive your discipline. Man, now the way I look at discipline, if I could go somewhere and receive it, I would, because I don't see it as a punishment. I don't use it as a punishment. Discipline keeps me on my track to, reach my goals. It's not a punishment. I will say sometimes, and I think this is where the discipline kind of bleeds in and out of those two kind of meanings. Some days you don't feel like doing whatever it is you're supposed to do, or you feel you need to do. So you have to use discipline and kind of make yourself. So, and I think it's getting lost in there. So what I thought I'd suggest today is, or a suggestion for help for myself is, and I'm not going to have an answer for this because I've just spent the last hour on ChatGPT trying to come up with another terminology for discipline. I even tried to invent new words, and they were throwing Greek and Latin at me. I can't even remember what he was saying. It sounded like spells from Harry Potter. Um, but yeah, in the comments, uh, if you feel like it, if you want to help, what's other words that symbolizes doing what you need to do, getting it done? And I know there's all those catchy phrases and stuff out there because I have gone through them all. I think a part of the problem with, I know I've dealt with this myself, but I see it in other people too. Like, I'll even, I'll speak to my wife and my kid, and I'll talk about, don't look for motivation, because it works sometimes if you're in the mood, or it hits the right, oh, I got it. And motivation is fine. It's fine. But it's discipline that gets it done. And I just feel like discipline. See, when I say it, now that I think about, instantly what I go to in my head is when I was a kid in school, we would get physically punished. They called them licks or swats. I think licks is weird. Why would they call them licks? It sounds so, inappropriate. But yeah, we would get in trouble, and they would send us to the office, and sometimes we would receive our punishment then. Yeah, and and sometimes if it, for me especially, because I got in a bunch of trouble in public school, then they would schedule my discipline daily, if you will. And every morning when I would come into school, I would go get 10 licks. That's how my day would start. Everyone would go to the lunchroom and I would go to the vice principal. He was the disciplinary, and he would give me 10 licks to start the day. And that went on for an entire week. What did I do to receive that? I'll tell you. Um, there was, so man, this has got a lot of backstory. If I could just sum it up. Okay, I'll just, without the backstory. So the athletic department for the boys, like the football, basketball, all that stuff, big locker room. It was kind of the end of the hallway that led out to the parking lot for the seniors, the people who would drive. It was like the first door you would come to. And right when you walk in, boom, boys' locker room. Up the hallway, and on the other side by the basketball gym was the girls' locker room. They did not have us close, but we had all come. I don't know. I don't remember what we were doing, but we'd all come back in to change before the period, the PE or athletics was over, and we were changing, and then we were going to go back to our regular scheduled class. Uh, for some, and I was lollygagging. I was bullshitting as Dick does, and I was flirting and talking with some girls, and I had already gone into the boys' locker room and ran back out. I'm not gonna. I still remember this girl's name. We messed around several times before and after this, but just to give it some type of context, uh, all the boys were now changing, and I don't know what I was. I was daring her to come in there. I was like, "God dare you to come in here right now! Everyone is in their underwear. God dare you to come in here right now!" And this would not be good in any way, shape, or form in today's society. I'd be in so much trouble. Oh man. And she was like kind of peeking in the door and whatnot. So I was like, why are you so scared? And I picked her up and brought her into the boys' locker room and set her right in the middle. And all the dudes in their underwear and stuff, they were cheering, and she was turning red and ran out. She said she liked it, but that did not matter, because right when she ran out, the head of the athletics department, uh, man, Coach Bean, Coach Burns, Coach Beeman, I don't know. He was right there, and because I went to chase her out, and he was right there, and he was like, "What is going on?" And then I come right out of the room, and he was like, "I should have figured. I should have figured," and grabbed me by my ear and ran me down the hallway, and then by the cuff of my shirt, like a kitty cat or something, ran me into the office. I got licks that day, and then they were like, "We'll decide on your punishment further by the end of the day. Stop by the office." And I was all right. So that was my discipline. I'd start every morning, and I'd get 10 licks for a week. I got savvy though. Like I started wearing like 3 pairs of underwear, 2 pairs of shorts underneath my pants, because the disciplinary dude was a giant man who loved to play golf, and he could swing a paddle. And they had different paddles. They had paddles for girls, paddle for boys. All right, I'm going off on a tangent. But here's what I'm saying. That is called, that's a form of discipline. But me deciding to go to the gym when I'm just not feeling it, but I know it's going to better me, or to soak up some information when I'm just not in the mood and I do it anyway, that's discipline. How are those two things even? And I know for the people that are out there, and it's because, here, watch this. Google discipline. This is so weird because it talks about control. And I guess you are controlling yourself, but I don't see discipline as punishing myself. And I think that's what's wrong with the whole idea of it. And people are less likely to do it because they're not into, like, what's it called? Masochism, where you hurt yourself, sadomasochist or something. Okay, discipline is the quality of being able to behave and work in a controlled way, which involves obeying a particular rules or standard. But then it down below from the Collins Dictionary, setting clear, achievable goals and breaking them down into manageable steps. Yeah, I know words can have dual meanings. I feel like for the sake of the human, and using discipline to better yourself, I feel like we need a new word. That's all I'm saying. Something like, I don't know. This sounds so grind embracer. um, yeah. I'm hoping somebody's watching this right now and the word hits them. Just type it in the comments. I don't need anything else. Just type the word in the comments, like, you know, axe sharpening. And that's so generic. I know, but you know what I'm trying to say. Man, look at this. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Define what you want to achieve. Make sure that there are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. See, find your motivation, identify what drives you to pursue your goals, and keep you going when faced with challenges. Yeah, man, I feel like there's a problem with the word discipline. What happens when I press this?
Discipline.
He does not sound very disciplined. That discipline. I'm talking shit, y'all. Sorry. Yeah, over here in the little thing, I guess this is from Wikipedia. Discipline is the self-control that is gained by requiring that. That's weird. Discipline is the self-control that is gained by requiring that rules or orders be obeyed, and the ability to keep working at something that is difficult. Disciplinarians, I was just talking about one of those, my vice principal from high school, but this is not what he taught, believe that such self-control is of the utmost importance and enforce a set of rules that aim to develop such behavior. You know, I don't, when I use discipline on myself or that word that we have chosen, I don't see it as giving myself rules. One thing Mr. Dick, aka Rich don't like rules. I never have. It's always been this weird, I've got that a problem with authority thing, and it's always, whatever. So maybe that's why I'm conflicted with this word, because of my past traumas with discipline that I have received. But it has taken me decades to really use, and I hate now I hate using the word discipline. I wish we had a different word. Let's do this. Discipline synonyms. I don't even have to spell it. Good God, because I would have misspelled that. Okay. Control. I don't like that either, but I guess you're in control of yourself, so that's a good thing. I'm probably too close to the camera. My baggage. Regulation, direction, order, authority, rule, strictness, a firm hand. It doesn't have to be that. Routine. I like that. Regimen. I like that. Training. I like that. Teaching. Hell yes. Instruction. Drill. Drilling. Man. But yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about today, because I talk about training people, physical training, combat training, all that stuff. And I have done it before. Uh, a couple instances of, like your true personal training kind of environment, that kind of stuff, like following somebody around the gym and telling them what to do. I'm not the biggest fan of that. That can work if um, but the problem I have when training someone, because what I have done is, like strength and conditioning for combat athletes. I have done that for a very long time. Um, but the difference is when you're training somebody that is on a mission, chasing a goal, like combat sports, um, their lack of desire or discipline. Oh, there's a good desire. That has multiple meanings too, right? The difference is this man or lady that I am training on the strength and conditioning things knows that if they are not disciplined, if they are not showing up and doing what I say, everything from the physical part to the diet to all that stuff, they know it potentially means they're going to lose a fight, okay, a real fight with someone else that's training and practicing discipline and doing all those things. But when I take a regular, I don't know what other word to use, someone that's not on some athletic endeavor, it's so rare that I find someone that is disciplined enough to where, let's say I start training a person and I start, giving them the keys to plug in, like you need to do this, you need to eat this, you need to time this. I have to look at their schedule. I have to look at their dietary needs. I have to look at where they're coming from, their starting point, what experience do they have, what muscle memory do they have, what mobility do they have, all these things, right? And then I plug them in and we start the process. And then somewhere in that process, sometimes it's just a few days, sometimes it's a few weeks. And then I feel like the discipline drops off and then they start telling me, hey, it's not working. It's not working for me. And then I'll go, okay, let's go through some of the steps that you needed to complete to make it work. And they're like, oh yeah, I ate Taco Bell twice that day. Well, this stuff does work, but you have to be disciplined. Keep your goals right here and continue to reach for them, and don't reach for the Taco Bell or whatever it is. Or, oh, I was sore that day, so I didn't do that maintenance routine you gave me, or whatever. And so I just, man, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I have turned down more like, hey, will you train me situations, because it's like I don't want to babysit, and I want the person to really want it. And I know we all make mistakes and slip up and do these things or whatever, but you got to own it and you got to fix it. But it's the discipline, and I feel like this weird thing that they did to us from school, with discipline being punishment, so it keeps us locked into lazy and just consuming and working. And I don't know, I'm on a conspiracy theory thing right there, I guess. I just, yeah, man, it's messing with me. It's messing with me. What's another word for discipline? Whoa. Castigate, chasten, chastise. I thought that meant to make fun of somebody. Correct and punish. Discipline never feels like punishment to me. When I don't practice discipline, I feel punished. If I if I don't, I'm just going to say go to the gym. But if I don't go to the gym, or if I don't eat right, or if I don't do what I know I need to do, that's punishment. Because I'll feel, I don't know if guilt is the word, but man, if I don't go to the gym, I will suffer from everything from depression to low energy to all of these things. And that to me is the other side of discipline. Like I just disciplined myself negatively because I didn't practice discipline positively. Does that make any, you know what I mean? I want to change this. Help me change this word. Help somebody help me. I think it's weird. And I don't know how I'm just now stumbling onto this, but yeah, can we come up with a new word for discipline, please? Because discipline really is not punishment. It is, it's the key to freedom, right? Is that too much? Is that too cheesy? Is that too Disney? Yeah, Disney's a whole nother bag of what is going on. Um, Side note, I heard that Disney owns NASA. Is that for real? The same people that's strange. What are they pretending? Sprinkle in some conspiracy. You know me. That's weird. Discipline synonyms also educate, instruct, school, and train. Hmm. School yourself, fool. Yeah, I I don't know where else to go with this, but I really wanted to talk about this. I wish I had somebody I could bounce this off of at the moment. Holy cannoli. Thesaurus.com sounds like I mean, I know what a thesaurus is, but it sounds like a dinosaur. 114 synonyms. Oh, 1,114. It's so weird how it can, the strongest matches. Control, development, education, method, practice, preparation, regulation, restraint, self control, self restraint, and will. Will. Willpower, discipline power. What I'm trying to do is take these words and make a cool word that represents doing what you need to do. Accountability, disciplinability. I don't know. Self government, strictness. Man, how can discipline also mean stubbornness? Is that what that's saying? Domestication, drilling, exercise, self command, subordination, willpower, self mastery. That's weird. That says the weakest match to match the word discipline. The weakest match is self mastery. No. That's where we got it wrong. Self mastery is exactly what discipline is. It's not punishment. That might be my title. Excuse me for this. Man, oh man. Hmm. All right, I feel like switching subject matters, but when I do this, I feel like I got to change the title of my video or add a whole nother thing. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. Whatever, man. You know what I mean? Whatever. Okay, so it's summertime, right? It's summertime, season wise, and for speak of the devil, the education system. Um, my sons from my first marriage are no longer in school. They're, mid and late 20s. But I have a daughter, a bonus kid. I don't like to say stepdaughter. Another weird word I don't like. My bonus daughter, because she is a blessing. She's amazing. She's super smart. But she's still a teenager. So, going through all those changes, trying to identify who you are, all that fun stuff. And then you have this weird high school situation where you're trying to fit in. That's not what I'm talking about, but I'm just giving you, kind of painting the picture, if you will. School is out, without giving you too many details of my life. School is out soon. Okay. um and usually, man, I used to love the last week of school because we didn't do anything, we messed around. It's like you didn't even need to be there, but that's how the school makes money, is through attendance. So they hold that in high priority. Um, so school gets out, and they want us, uh, because she will be a senior next year. They want us to come up to the school after the school year is over on that same very day at like 7:30 at night to find out what we need to do as parents and as what she needs to do as a senior. Man, I hate's a strong word. I really dislike our form of the whole setup of the educational system. And I'll tell you why. Well, I'm going to give you an example. So when my youngest son was graduating, he his senior year he spent with me, uh, and in a town in Texas outside the Austin area. Um, he's a very smart motor scooter too. Like, it's crazy. Um, but he didn't want to go to college right away. I don't suggest college right away for anyone. And the whole, I got a problem with the whole educational system anyway. College is a mixed bag. Like, it's a great place to network and to party and to, you know, find your social circles, find new things that are interesting, experiment, all that stuff. But you don't have to pay, 50, 60, $120,000 a year, get yourself into debt to do any of those things. But we weren't gonna. He didn't want to go to college, and because he knew he wants to do things like multiple things, but they're all like computer and tech driven. When really all you got to do is teach yourself these systems, show people you know how to do it, and you can get hired. Some places will hire you and then spend a little money and teach you what you need to do. Sometimes, especially if it's programming, you show that you know the languages, the Pythons, the whatever, I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about, C++ and all the things. If you're able to command success over those, boom, you're hired. Or like I said, you just need this little piece of paper that says you completed, the learning process. So that was his plan of attack. Let me tell you what this school did. Uh, they made us, before, like, he had graduated, straight A's, the whole nine, senior year, killing it, never missed a day, whatever. And all this was during Corona. So it was tough stuff. So like half the year was locked up in our homes, and then we started coming back. Oh, you know what? Maybe he did his junior and senior. It was like half of his junior and then senior. Yeah, something like that. Uh, so they basically held his diploma hostage from us because he had to apply for financial aid for school that we weren't going to do. I called this counselor, and for an hour we went back and forth, and I was explained to me why we have to go into this. And when you apply for financial aid, yes, you have to give up every piece of information that we hold dear and protect these days due to identity theft and things of that nature. But we had to put all this down in this paperwork, even though we weren't seeking any financial aid or any other education after high school. And if we did not, he would not receive his diploma. What? What? Oh, bro, I was hot sauce. Once again, Rich don't like rules. Dick says no to the rules, y'all. All right, and the reason I brought that up is because I'm thinking this is what this meeting thing is like. What's expected for senior year, and we can't. Even in my email from the school, it says this meeting will not be recorded. You must attend. What, bro? Well, we should be doing it today then, and it should be, I people work till 5, I know, or whatever, but you can't send us a video, uh, even just a file with text on it that says this, and this, and this. I just, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to practice some self-discipline while I'm in there and keep my mouth shut. And I mean, let 2 or 3 other parents start, joining in with the way I feel, and it's gonna be hard for me not to be like, yeah, what are we doing in here? You know what I mean? I'm gonna start some type of problem. No, not really. I just, man, oh man, because I feel like they made us, back with the subject with my son and having to fill out for financial aid, even though we weren't going to use it. What that kid? I don't even believe I'm saying that. I think it's because they get some kind of kickback, whether it be financial or, I don't know, from the higher education systems, possibly even the government, because some of those loans are government driven. Man, I don't know. Yeah. So that's what's going on, y'all. Let's do something with that word discipline. Let's strong matches. Oh, no, those are synonyms. I thought it said castration. That's not what it says. Castigation? Chastisement? It's that chastise again. Competence, correction, and the word rod. You know what the rod is? The disciplinary rod. That's crazy. That's not what I'm doing myself. I'm not punishing myself by going to the gym and making myself better, not just physically, but mentally. I'm not disciplining myself. Yes, I'm using discipline, or I don't know, you guys. Why is that so jacked up to me? Oh, yeah, your discipline can also be your specialty. Hmm. I was trying to think using the word specialty, place of discipline. I don't know. All right. I think I'm going to dip, y'all. It's Wednesday. And also, I'm just looking at my time here. Holy crap, I'm at a half hour. I just, things are going on. Like I said, we got all this stuff going on in the next week and a half or so with the finishing up school. I would normally put up a video on Friday. We have family visiting. I believe they're supposed to be here Friday, and no one in the immediate family wants to be on camera. So I don't know if I'm going to put up a video on Friday. We shall see. But either way, if I don't see you, you know I love y'all. Okay? Okay. And seriously, whenever it is that you watch this video, if you've made it to the end, thank you so very much. But can we do something and help me find a better way to describe like positive willpower? It's not discipline. It doesn't. I mean, I guess it can hurt. You know, you have to tear down the muscle fiber so it will grow back. And that can be a little uncomfortable, lactic acid and stuff. But I don't see that as the discipline. That's the reward. Yeah. Help me with that, everybody. Help me, please. All right, y'all. Dick is going to dip. I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. I'll say it again. I love you. I love you very much. Thank you so very much for stopping by the holy tabernacle that is Dictate the Day. Today is Wednesday. Take this whole mother sucker, y'all. Take the whole day. Take it. Whatever that means. You know, I'm talking about little wins in the bag, whether you use the word discipline, willpower, steadfast, you know, whatever it is. Take your day. Remember to share your knowledge, spread your love, and in doing so, that taking the day thing will take care of itself. It'll get done if you do just, you know, one of those two things or both of them. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm gonna put the music on, and I will see y'all on the flip side. And yes, may success follow us and unfold continuously throughout this day and the rest of our existence, y'all. I love ya. I'm trying to buy time while I get this started. And then right there. All right, y'all. Yay, yay. Peace in, everyone.